heavy rain, flooded streets, trees down. News 8 is checking out the storm damage and the impacts many people are still feeling tonight. It's Storm Team coverage you can count on.
Toppled trees, downed branches, and plenty of damage in the Harrisburg area. I'll tell you about the cleanup into this morning's storm.
Standing on a back porch along Conewago Creek in Adams County, the water is running fast, and it's definitely too close to homes on the street.
Toll Booth Antiques in Columbia will take a big step forward in recovering from a devastating fire that destroyed a building and many valuable antiques. We'll show you what's happening this weekend.
It's back. Just a few weeks after targeting Pennsylvania drivers with a scam text message, the bad guys are at it again. I'm on your side to show you their latest scam effort.
And the News 8 Storm Team is in action, covering the impact of Debbie in the Susquehanna Valley. And just take a look at this massive tree that's down at the East Harrisburg Cemetery in Susquehanna Township.
And this tree came down on Corey Hill Road right near Route 11 in Penn Township, Cumberland County.
And roads were flooded. A car was stuck in high water on Hummel Avenue in Camp Hill, Cumberland County. There's been a lot of damage, but we're here to walk you through it. Good evening, everybody. I'm Michael Fuller.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tasmeen Mahfouz, and people across the Susquehanna Valley feeling the wrath of Debbie. Our Storm Team crews have been across the valley, and we have live team coverage.
But we begin with Storm Team meteorologist Ethan Houston. Ethan, what's it going to look like tonight?
Well, the bands of rain from Debbie are moving out, but we still have some scattered light showers and storms ahead of the storm's cold front that is pushing over the heart of the Susquehanna Valley at this hour. So the steady soaking rain, that's moving out of the region, but you can see we still have those spotty showers and perhaps an isolated thunder shower moving right along the west shore and up into Dauphin County from Grantville to Linglestown, right over downtown Harrisburg and northern portions of York County. A little bit farther to the south, you can see some light rain moving over central portions of York County from Emmitsville to York and over towards Spring Grove. This is the last hurrah of Debbie. This is the cold front that's pushing across the area, and we should be completely dry and see skies clear on out as we get past 8 o'clock. Drier air, more comfortable air will move in. Look for temperatures to fall to the upper 60s tonight, and a refreshing, pleasant weekend will be around for us across the Susquehanna Valley. But we're still dealing with some high water in a few spots. I'll talk about that and just how much rain fell from Debbie coming up in the updated 10-day forecast.
Ethan, thank you. One of the hardest hit areas, Harrisburg and its surrounding communities. Trees were toppled, damaging homes and vehicles. News 8's Tom Lehman joins us live. Tom.
Well, Tasmeen, neighbors around here told me that there were a lot of trees here providing a canopy for this neighborhood, Bellevue Park. But you can see behind me the trees and branches that have been downed. And even further down the road, you can see where a tree fell on top of a car. There's a lot of cleanup that has to take place, and a lot of damage still being accounted for. The sound of chainsaws could be heard early Friday morning in the Bellevue Park neighborhood, one of multiple locations in the Harrisburg area that saw trees toppled to the ground or on top of houses and cars.
We have several hundred trees that are down. We have in excess of a dozen homes that are damaged in some way or another. We have one that's partially collapsed. We lost the roof of a church out on Derry Street, as well as many other things that we're still uncovering.
Nearby on Market Street, several trees were uprooted from the ground on one residential block, and several other trees were knocked down in Reservoir Park. And in Midtown Harrisburg, the Midtown Cinema dealt with flooding that left its floor soggy and in need of restoration. The work will keep the business closed for weeks.
This is an incredible storm to have passed through here in Harrisburg. I personally have seen very few situations like this, and I've lived here for 15 years. And this is the most extensive damage we've had here at the cinema for sure.
Operators of the cinema say one of the biggest concerns they have is certainly how they're going to connect to the community as well as support their employees. Now, when it comes to the damage, obviously there is still a lot that has to be accounted for at this point. Chief Enterline telling me at least a dozen homes were damaged, but he also said that no injuries have been reported. In Harrisburg, Tom Lehman, WGAL News 8.
All right, Tom, thank you. And in Swatara Township, Dauphin County, part of the wall was ripped off a warehouse. You can see it right there. That's along Gibson Boulevard. It happened around 5 this morning. The warehouse is owned by Inclinator Company of America, which is an elevator manufacturer.
Oh, I was blown away. When I came around seeing this, it was like, you got to be kidding me.
And part of a tree also fell on a nearby truck. A man was inside at the time, but thankfully wasn't injured.
And some homeowners who live by the Conewago Creek in Adams County are dealing with flooding. News 8's Ed Weinstock joins us live from East Berlin, and heavy flooding there, Ed.
Absolutely. The Conewago Creek right behind me. The fast-moving water is just inches from going into people's homes along Conewago Creek Drive. Stacy Lockman is worried about her home on Conewago Park Drive. She's watched the muddy creek water creep higher and higher. Her kitchen items are piled on tables, but her living room is empty. She moved everything out of the house so it wouldn't be destroyed by flooding.
I really don't want to have to remodel my house again after 5 times of doing it.
Many roads near East Berlin are blocked by high water. Eisenhart Mill Road is just one of them. The flooding nearly swallowed up street signs. The water also surrounded a building. On Bermudian Church Road, a car was stuck in deep water after the storm washed over the road.
She came over at 6 o'clock this morning and she said, Mom, it's not even in the yard. And she came over like 2 hours later. She said, Mom, it's in the yard. It's coming up.
I tell you, the weather out here is absolutely crazy. About 15-20 minutes ago, the skies opened up. We had a downpour. It lasted for about 10 minutes, and then it stopped. Now the sun's out. In Adams County, Ed Weinstock, WGAL News 8.
That was some stunning video, Ed. All right, thank you. There was also high water at the Hanover Country Club in Abbottstown, Adams County. Beaver Creek, that runs through the golf course, which swelled. However, News 8 was there late this morning, and the water has started to recede. And crews, rescued nearly 20 people from Campground Island in Dover Township, York County. A York County spokesperson says there were 14 adults, 5 children, and 8 dogs that were rescued from the island. The camp is in the middle of Conewago Creek.
And right now, there are about 7,800 customers without power. The number keeps going down. Most are in Dauphin and Perry counties. Remember, you can always get the latest forecast anytime, anywhere on the WGAL app.
Well, back in July, you may remember we brought you the story of a fire that destroyed a building at Toll Booth Antiques in Columbia last month. You can see it right here in the monitor. And there were many valuable antiques going up in flames. But News 8's Barbara Barr reports on an auction taking place tomorrow to help a community treasure rise from the ashes.
These theater seats were among the items salvaged from the Toll Booth Antiques fire. They're going to be auctioned off, the first step toward rebuilding.
This is a big step forward.
It will give owner David Doolittle and antique vendors a chance to recoup some of the losses suffered in the blaze that destroyed one antique warehouse and damaged another.
It's been rough. It's been rough. It's been very emotional for all of our vendors.
Not everyone was insured for their contents. These antiques suffered some smoke damage in the brick building, but are still in good shape.
Right up front here, we have maybe 20 blanket chests that are early chests from the early 1800s that are really just heavily smoke damaged and some soot on there. You could clean it off. Yeah, they'll be sold for much less.
Hundreds of antiques were salvaged and will find new homes.
We have high boy chest of drawers. We also have that horse that was pulled out of the wreckage.
Members of the community and customers from far and wide have lifted spirits.
You know, they've been very upset too. We've had a lot of phone calls and letters. Following
the auction, which starts at 9 in the morning, there will be an appreciation ceremony involving firefighters and borough leaders. In Columbia, Barbara Barr, News 8.
And it's back just a few weeks after targeting Pennsylvania drivers with a scam text message. The bad guys are at it again. 8 on your side, consumer investigator Brian Roach continues to follow this story.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. That saying also works for scammers. Just about 1 month after targeting Pennsylvania drivers with a fake text message, the scammers are trying again. Last month, we showed you that several thousand people with Pennsylvania area codes reported receiving this text message claiming to be from Pennsylvania Turnpike Toll Services. It says you must settle your balance of $8.60 to avoid additional charges of $86. It also provides a link so you can make that payment. And now, a nearly identical text message is being reported claiming that your balance of $10.60 must be paid or you face a fine of $106. Well, like this last one, this text is coming from a phone number in Canada. And once again, there is a link to click on which you should avoid. Never click on those links, as we've told you. As News 8 on Your Side told you last month, the Turnpike does not communicate with Pennsylvania drivers through text messages. The vast majority of the 500,000 drivers who use the Turnpike every day, 86% of them use E-ZPass, and they're billed through that. Tolling services in states across the country have been targeted by this scam text message for months now. This is the third time it's surfaced in Pennsylvania. Just delete the text if you receive it. I'm Brian Roach, on Your Side, WGAL News 8.
And she grew up and trained in Smoketown, Lancaster County, and now she's an Olympic medalist.
Yeah, we're so proud of her. And News 8's Ann Shannon met up with Casey Caulfield at the Lancaster Archery Academy to hear about her experiences in Paris.
It's so pretty.
Casey Caulfield calls her Olympic bronze medal her most prized possession. It's easy to see why.
This middle piece here is actually a part of the original Eiffel Tower. It's probably the prettiest Olympic medal I've ever seen.
Caulfield, who started dreaming about the Olympics at the age of 12, didn't get the start in Paris she was hoping for. As she prepared for her final event, team partner and longtime friend Brady Ellison gave her some advice.
You can have a pity party for yourself for 30 minutes, write down all your frustration, just let it out, and then we're going to refocus.
The two went on to take the bronze in the mixed team archery competition. For Casey, it was an out-of-body experience.
I watched the moment back, and I was like, I didn't realize how crazy I was going. Like, I was going ballistic. I was like, that's just like, it's so cool to watch that back and be like, I totally don't remember doing any of that.
To make the win even sweeter, the Conestoga Valley grad was surrounded by friends and family. Casey leaves on Monday to go to nationals, and then...
I love shooting, don't get me wrong, but I've put a lot of hard work into it. I think I'm ready to take just a little bit of a break, but I'll definitely be back to it in the fall.
After all, the 2028 games in Los Angeles will be here before we know it. Ann Shannon, WGAL News 8.
Oh, she's fantastic. We're so proud of her.
Yeah, and what an inspiration. So guess what? Casey says another highlight of the games for her was meeting former Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelce.
I think that's a highlight for everybody.
Yeah, fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
To the road to victory. Well, there's more Olympic coverage coming up next.
Two-time Olympic skater Johnny Weir will be at the Paris Olympics doing the commentary for the closing ceremony. Of course, I had to ask him what he'll be wearing.
And as we look live at Paris, we have continuing coverage of the Paris Olympics.
Yeah, now this is pretty cool, right? So Olympic skater Johnny Weir grew up in Lancaster County, but has made his mark on the world. And you may know him for his stylish skating, but also his extravagant costumes.
Yeah, and he's actually a part of NBC's coverage of the closing ceremony at the Paris Olympics. News 8's Susan Shapiro caught up with him and his mom at his skating academy in Chester County.
On a scorching Sunday in July, Johnny Weir is keeping cool in a skating rink.
This is my happy place. It's where I feel the most comfortable, where I can really, truly be myself.
Good, Lizzie.
The two-time Olympian now runs the Johnny Weir Skating Academy here in Downingtown and Aston.
Left hand, Lizzie.
He and other coaches do private and group training for skaters on all levels.
Don't lead with that left shoulder.
He's a really good coach. He has very funny, I would say, analogies to help you understand, like, what he wants to do with, like, your arms in a jump.
When we land, twizzle, twizzle, twizzle. I finally felt that I had not only the urge to be a coach, but also that I was worthy to help craft the careers of young people, because this sport, it's mean, as is any sport. Nailed it!
Weir is a nice guy who has excelled in the sport with his own unique style. He won national titles and competed in the 2006 and 2010 Olympics.
I can't imagine anything ever topping that feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of having all of your hard work pay off and actually mean something.
Weir grew up here in Quarryville, Lancaster County. He says he learned to skate on a cornfield that was frozen at the time. He started out as an equestrian and then turned to figure skating at about age 12. He credits small town living with helping him achieve success.
I think that gives you the opportunity to imagine and dream about the great big world out there and what you can do in it.
Johnny's a very, very unique young man. And he always is driven by passion and goals.
It's like this exercise.
That young man is now 40.
The jump.
He has retired as a figure skating performer and is the rare athlete who's made a successful turn to entertainment. He and fellow figure skater Tara Lipinski are popular Olympic commentators and analysts on NBC.
Our rapport was instant, and we bonded over real-life things, not just the work.
His costumes often say as much as his comments.
I definitely think the fashion and the hair are a character all onto themselves.
The pair will be at the Summer Games in Paris with their own take on the closing ceremony.
Closing ceremonies is a whole lot of fun. It is the big party at the end of the Olympic Games, and it's a celebration of accomplishment and having dreams come true.
And what will he be wearing to the party?
I'm wearing an American designer, and my hair is going to have definitely a nod to France, French history.
He says that nod will be big
outside,
with some extra flair.
Inside,
Susan Shapiro, WGAL News 8.
And you can watch Johnny and the Olympic closing ceremony right here on WGAL. Coverage starts Sunday afternoon at 3.
Now, the WGAL News 8 Storm Team forecast with meteorologist Ethan Houston.
Debbie is moving out of the Susquehanna Valley, but the high water remains in a few locations, so that's why it's an impact evening. But once we get past sunset, drier air moves in, and it's going to feel fantastic for Saturday and Sunday, and much of next week's weather looks like it is going to be quiet. We have one active river flood warning. That's for the Yellow Breeches Creek crest this evening, and the warning is in effect until Saturday evening. So here's a look at the river forecast. You can see right now it's at 9.6 feet, moderate stage. It's going to crest this evening, remain above flood stage on into Saturday, and then quickly drop heading on into Sunday. Other rivers, creeks, and streams are running high, but we have no other active flood warnings along our waterways. 79 degrees and still some light rain at the airport. But look at those dew points, still in the mid-70s. We are tracking some light showers anywhere from just outside of Hershey up into central portions of Lebanon County, from Palmyra up towards Jonestown. Also some light showers moving through eastern portions of York County. Those will be drifting into Lancaster County within the next hour. But that is it. This broken line of showers is ahead of an incoming front that will finally push all of this high humidity and moisture off to the east and allowing us to dry back out. So peaks of sunshine and stray showers, still some localized flooding, with temperatures dropping into the 70s area wide after sunset. The humidity goes down as the skies clear out through the night tonight with lows in the upper 60s. And for tomorrow, a fantastic day out there across the Susquehanna Valley with highs in the low to mid 80s. We got that soaking heavy rain. Heaviest the rain was from York, Harrisburg, and points off to the west. A little bit less for our eastern counties, but much of the valley picking up anywhere from 1 to over 5 inches of rain. Duncannon, 5.64 inches of rain in the past 24 hours, 4.33 at Thomasville and York County, just over 3 inches in Greenville. In Franklin County, 3.25 inches of rain. In Mechanicsburg, Cumberland County, Columbia, just under 2 inches of rain so far. Made it to 79 for our high today, and officially we'll go in the record books at 1.1 inches. We can see that heavier rain was just to the west of the airport over towards Chambersburg and towards Lewistown. So temperatures right now in the upper 70s to lower 80s. You can see that cooler weather off to our west, but here's the big change. Look at that drier air off to our west, with dew points falling back into the 40s and 50s over the Great Lakes. That's what's going to be moving on in as Debbie pulls away and moves up into southern Canada. So watch what happens here on the predictor. There's that front. By 11 o'clock, the rain is out of here. High pressure builds on in, and it's going to feel fantastic out there for your Saturday and Sunday. May see a few passing clouds at times, but weather is going to be quite pleasant out there for your Saturday and also for your Sunday. Very quiet weather will be around for much of next week, with highs in the low to mid 80s, and the humidity values will remain quite low. Our weather pattern starts to turn unsettled again as we head into the following weekend, with chances for some showers returning to the area by the following Saturday. WGL News 8 at 6 will be back after this.
Now, WGAL News 8 Sports, powered by Xfinity Mobile.
Welcome back. I'm Bethany Miller here at M&T Bank Stadium, the site of tonight's preseason game between the Eagles and the Ravens. Now, Hurricane Debbie flew through right on time here. You can see it's a little windy, it's a little cloudy, but it is expected to be dry here tonight as both teams take the field for this preseason test. I'll step out of the way here, as you can see. Now, Rain not being in the radar is very important. Head coach Nick Sirianni has told the media he wants to put in his starters and have them see the field during this preseason slate. That sets a very different precedent for this Eagles team than fans have seen in years past. As for the Ravens, head coach John Harbaugh told the media earlier this week Lamar Jackson will not play in tonight's game. Josh Johnson is set to start under center tonight for Baltimore. And while this may just be a preseason game, during training camp this week, players expressed how important a night like tonight is for the team to get comfortable.
I mean, the preseason is kind of our first look at, who we're going to be as a team and who we're going to be as an offense. And, we're going to have a lot of different guys playing a lot of different spots. And, it's going to be fun to go out there and play different spots for myself and, see how we all kind of fit into one another and, make this offense work.
I'll have more for fans on how they can watch tonight's game in 30 seconds. Well, WGAL is live tonight in Baltimore as the Eagles and Ravens are set to take the field here at 7:30 in the first preseason test for both teams. And of course, as you just heard, it is a great test to see how these rosters are shaking out just 3 weeks before the season opener. Now, fans at home can watch this game as kickoff is set for 7:30 on MeTV. The word tonight is accountability, at least for head coach Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll have more from Philadelphia's training camp in a few minutes tonight at 7. For now, though, we'll be right back.
Drier weather, calmer weather rules the forecast for most of the next 10 days. After the next couple of hours, next best chance for showers returns next weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for watching News 8 at 6. NBC Nightly News is next.
Yeah, we'll see you for News 8 at 7 and 7:30, the Olympic Zone.